Hundreds of thousands of Tigrayans have been displaced from western Tigray to escape the atrocities being committed by invading forces. Millions were blocked from seeking shelter in neighboring Sudan, forcing them to travel deep into the war-ravaged areas of Tigray. Escaping from massacres in western Tigray, Lilti and her husband Tigray along with their 2 children traveled miles to seek shelter at Adwa, Endaba-Gerima vicinity. We used to live in Humara. We were displaced to Adwa in 2020 when the war broke out. We left everything behind and came here to save our lives. During that time, the genocidal forces were threatening and taunting us, saying that Western Tigray is their land and not ours, and that Tigrayans aren't allowed to live there. They were killing, arresting, raping, and torturing every single Tigrayan. We arrived here, escaping all of that. After escaping the carnage in western Tigray, Tigray and his family stayed in Adwa for almost 2 years. Unfortunately, Tigray couldn't escape death. On October 25 of 2022, Eritrean soldiers raided his area, going house to house and taking men. Lilti tells us that Eritrean soldiers arrived at their house, took Tigray and executed him in front of his mother and kids. On the 25th of October 2022, at around 5:30 p.m., the soldiers banged our door open and commanded for men to come out. My husband went to the door and his mother followed him. Then the soldiers threw a stone at his mother and commanded her to stay there. Then they took him outside and shot him in front of our eyes at the door. They killed him here. The suffering of Tigray family didn't end here. Lilti says she kept Tigray's body inside her house for 12 days as Eritrean soldiers forbid her from burying him. They told us not to pick up his corpse, but it was getting dark and we feared that scavengers might eat his corpse. So at night, me and my son picked up his corpse and put it here on this traditional bed, Medeb. We covered his body and kept it here for 3 days, and then Eritrean soldiers came back again. They didn't believe us when we told them that he's dead, so they uncovered his body and saw for themselves. Even then, they didn't allow us to bury him, so we dug the traditional bed, Medeb, and buried him inside. We were able to bury him properly after 12 days. Lilti says life had been dark for her after that. Her and her families are left alone as he was the sole provider to the family. On top of this, she says they're struggling from psychological trauma. Lilti remembers that they were hoping to go back home and start over, adding that she never imagined this coming. We are now dependent and living with his mother. We thought that things will get better and that we will be able to go back to our home and start over. We never thought such thing will happen. Now everything is dark. We are left alone. The only thing I hope for right now is for justice to be served. The perpetrators need to be held accountable. This is the only compensation for families of victims.